thought I would do a little bit more organized pick review. I watched a bunch of them on YouTube, and I don't know, they all seem to be pretty biased. I don't know why, but I had one subscriber ask me if I had ever used V-picks, and I had never heard of them. That's these picks over here, on the clear ones, the acrylic ones. So I thought I would make an investment and check them out. They may on their website, and Carlos Santana endorses them and everything else. So I figured, well, shoot, these must be the hot thing. I didn't realize there was such a big custom pick market. I mean, they have other gravity picks, and oh shoot, there was one in Colorado, and I contacted most of these companies to see if I could get a custom pick made, thumb pick. Most of them refused, or I didn't hear back from them. But I did contact V-Picks, and they said they weren't interested in making a thumb pick. Either way, I tried these out. I'm not going to play them today, but I just wanted to show you that your pick does make a big difference in tone, and that's what I was looking for. I said, well, shoot, these are the hot things, these V-Picks. So they've got to have some tone to them. So I thought I'd give them a try. The bad thing is these five. Well, actually, I ordered 4 picks. He was kind enough to send me a switchblade, which is this real thin one up here. It's the thinnest one out of the bunch, and very pointed, which I don't really care for pointed, but it actually doesn't play too bad. But all of these with shipping was $25. So, a poor musician, which most of us are, don't want to spend $25 on picks, especially if they're going to wear out quickly. But I was hoping that these would last a long time. And I have not played it long enough to see. I ordered this. This is a traditional 4.0, which is a fairly newer version. It's 4 millimeters thick. You can see it's pretty thick. I actually liked that one. It played okay. This is a rounded medium. It's I don't know. It's probably 2 millimeters maybe. Doesn't have a thickness on it, but it's a little mellower because of the rounded tip. It plays a little differently. I don't really care for the pointed tips that much, but they're okay. This is a medium pointed. I just got it right. They have so many different choices, it was hard to figure out which one to try out. And this is called the Screamer. It's about 2 or 3 millimeters thick and very pointed. All of them have a little bit different edge, maybe. Some more rounded edges than the sharp edge like this. But my honest opinion, I don't know. I'd save my money. This thing here had a little bit better tone, maybe just because of the thickness, because of the density, I guess, of the, because of the thickness. It had a little bit fuller tone, but they really kind of chinky sounding, if you ask me. It sounded like a piece of plastic or acrylic on a string. I mean, it just doesn't seem like that's the perfect material for a pick. So I contacted them and said, well, can you make these picks, or have you ever made these picks out of Lexan? And he said, no, he cannot work with Lexan because when they buff the edges like this, they get too hot to handle with your fingers. So if you look up the difference between Lexan and acrylic, Lexan is what they make motorcycle windshields out of. It's 250 times stronger than glass. Acrylic is only 9 times stronger than glass, and probably easier to work with when it comes to grinding and buffing and making a nice finish like they've got here. But that's my point, is these are all the stubby picks up here, and I don't know if I wrote down the millimeters. Probably can't see it, but this is 1 millimeter, 1 millimeter, 2, 1.5, and 2. And these are all made out of Lexan, and I'm sure they're molded. They're not buffed or anything. They just come out of the mold like that. And you can see right now, this one with the star on it is the 2mm Dunlop Stubby Lexan. That's my #1 choice. The tip lasts long, it's very fast, and it has a better tone than any of the other picks. To me, it has a little bit more of a mid-range mellow. You know, you got some that are too hot, some too cold, and some that are just right. This one's just right. These, to me, are too cold, and I don't know if I have anything that's really too hot, but these are a little bit chinky sounding. This has got a nice mid-range boost to it, which is hard to understand how the different materials can do that, but that's the whole point of trying different picks. This has been my #1 Fred Kelly slick pick for 2 years now. The problem with this, and the reason I started going back to the standard pick, this is my #1 pick for the standard type pick, is that when I put it on my thumb, if I don't heat this up and stretch it out a little bit, because I got such a big thumb, you know, at a gig, it will make my thumb go numb if I wear this thing for 3 hours. But the tip is really slick and fast, and these are polycarbonate. So I started looking it up. I said, well, shoot, maybe I can get a slick pick made out of Lexan. Well, it turns out Lexan is polycarbonate. So this is a Lexan thumb pick. And I contacted Fred Kelly, tried to convince him to make a 2mm thick, like this one, thumb pick with this thickness of a tip, as same as my stubby, because this one really doesn't get as good a tone as this 2mm. So I thought, well, shoot, if I could make this tip 2mm, that'd be perfect. Well, they just emailed me back and said that would require a new mold, and a new mold cost is anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000. I said, well, just let me know when you decide to do it, because I'll buy a bunch of them. But this slick pick did not get as good of a tone as this Lexan. Now, she says, or they said, that this is just a different brand of Lexan. I'm not so sure if each type of Lexan or polycarbonate actually sounds the same. These were a little bit on the dull side when compared to the Lexan Stubby. And that's why I didn't realize that this was still Lexan or polycarbonate, but it turns out it is. So I'm happy about that, but I'd rather have a thicker tip to see if I can match this tone. This is some pick I bought at Groon's in Nashville. I don't know, you can see that tip. Very pointed. I played it for a little while and it looked like it was already wearing out. Actually wasn't bad. The thing I like about trying out different thumb picks, I don't know if you can see, but the top of this is a lot wider and a lot more comfortable when you stick it on your thumb. You're not pushing down on a small area, it's spread out. So that one fits a little better, but it's made out of a different material and doesn't really have a good tip. As you can see, compared to that one, this one's a lot narrower, and this one will cut the circulation off your thumb. But if I go to a gig, I'm still taking this pick, because I can still let go of it. I'm not going to drop it. That's the other thing that I thought was pretty much a bunch of hype about the V picks. They say, oh, you'll never drop a pick again. Well, if you're holding one of these, you can drop it. They say it sticks to your finger, and they'll show you videos it sticks to your finger. Well, shoot, they're supposed to heat up and stick to your finger. Big deal. This is never going to fall off. You can drop these, and then you've just dropped $4. This pick here is actually $10. Take a piece of acrylic, cut it out with a laser, which, he's got some nice equipment, buff it down on a grinding wheel, polish it up, and you got $10. I mean, I appreciate that they're handmade, but it's a piece of plastic. This is what they used to make in the old days. The hippies used to make keychain emblems and stuff with this stuff. So somebody just got the wild idea, hey, let's make one out shaped like a pick. And so, I don't know. Vinny's probably going to get pretty mad at me when he watches this video, but everybody else just says, oh, this, says sounds good, plays good, really fast and everything. When it gets right down to it, this pick tip is going to probably play about the same as this pick tip. I think it's the pick shape and the thickness that really makes a difference. Doesn't have anything to do with the material. And so, these, as far as I can tell, do not stick to your fingers. I mean, like I said, they say, oh, you got to heat them up, put them in your hand for a while. I mean, this one sticks better. That's because it's thin and doesn't weigh a lot. Hell, I can turn it almost upside down and it doesn't fall off. That's a Dunlop standard. I just stuck these down here. I was digging around on my desk. This is part of my pick search. These are the pyramid picks that Tone Man sends to me when I buy pyramids. It's just standard Dunlop. I don't know. This is Pick Boy Carbonate. This is another pyramid pick. I don't use these. I would prefer this all the time. But tone-wise now, and you guys need to experiment, tone-wise, give these a try. This is the 2mm. I'm actually going to go to the 3mm and see if I get an improvement there. But that's it. I would not spend much money. You might want to give these a try just for the fun of it, but you'll probably find that, it's not worth $10. They even have, on some of the videos I watched on YouTube, they even have some of these picks that are $75. I thought, you got to be crazy. Who would spend $75 on a pick? Somebody did. But that's it. Hopefully that helps. I'm getting ready to get my new Dunlop Mini Fuzz Face Germanium Fuzz, and that's going to be my next review, and I should get it today, so that ought to be interesting. Talk to you later.